Every December, we feed over 1,000 children and families. We give toys to over 600 kids. We usually raise up about 3,000, about 1,000 to 3,000 toys on the average. This is what we do back home, man. Even on the other side of our baseball careers, this is what we do. We have our community partners in here, and we are definitely looking forward to continue this thing. And we got bigger things in the mission going forward. It's not gonna stop, y'all. This is what we do. It's not gonna stop. I'm grabbing Rikkie right now. What's up, bro?
Oh,
I do want to tap back into, we talked about the workout regimen. We got into some of the questions from the people. Just to get it back in so everybody can kind of chime in and start asking their questions, I'm going to jump another question off. So I really want to get back to the Southern University grind days. I want to talk about one of the biggest games or some of the biggest games and moments in your SU history. You know what I mean? When you were there. So I know in 2003 it was you, Fred Lewis, DeJuan Day, all big leaguers, and then you got Damian Urson, Kevin Vital, Fernando Puebla, Jason Anderson. I mean the whole squad, right? Y'all as an HBCU ended up making it into a regional. In the very first game, I was there. Y'all beat Southern Miss 5-3 that game. Right? And went deep into that regional as HBCU, which is highly uncommon. And I believe, did y'all lose the last game by 1 run? Or was it by more?
No.
They beat you by more, right? Okay. But what was one of your most memorable games? Was that it, or did you have other memorable games that time in Southern?
I'll probably say two of them. I think one that kind of kicked everything off was my freshman year when we beat LSU. I think with our first, I don't know the history behind us playing LSU, but I want to say we might have been the first team to beat from Southern to beat LSU that year in 2000 our freshman year, 2001, the spring of 2001. I think that was definitely a big game. Obviously, you had major all through that lineup. The starting pitcher that day was Brian Wilson. Shortstop, Ryan Terrio. That's my homeboy to this day. Second base, Aaron Hill. 30 home run guy in the big leagues. You had, I can't even, but yeah, it was majorly all through that lineup. So for us to go in there, I think they were ranked top 10 at the time or something like that. I mean, like they always are, great team. But for us to go in there, to put up numbers like we did and how we did it, I think that was one of the biggest accomplishments for our team. I mean, not just personally, and I think also to that the second game or the second game I'm talking about is that game at Southern Miss. That was the first win from an HBCU in a regional in a real long time, and to put it that way. And I think the stigma around that game itself, being in that region of the country, which was very, very, I guess, rough for all black teams, coming there. I'll never forget when you go to a regional. Just for everybody who doesn't know, you get to the regional. You have a day of practice. You have like a banquet where all the four teams goes into. They kind of kick off the regional. You talk about the coaches get up there. They talk about their team, how well it is, and how much they're looking forward to playing in the regional. I remember getting off that bus, going to our first game, which was against Southern Miss, who was the number 1 seed. We're the 4th seed, obviously. But going into that game, and we're getting off the bus, it was kind of roped off. So you got fans on both sides, roped off. Obviously, it's a big deal in the region. Anybody knows about that. So it's this roped off area, and you just walk down the middle of it and go into your field. Again, I'm not lying when I say this. This is real life. You can ask. I want to say who was there. The GM of the Tampa Bay Rays was there at the time. The Brewers might have been there, I think, and some other teams were there. We're walking down. People literally have signs saying, "Niggers go home," "Coons go home," "Get off the bus," throwing stuff out. I'm like, ask anybody on this chat who's from Southern who played on the team with me. This is what was going on, and we're like, man, we got to play a whole game, and people doing this to us right now. Boy, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But again, going back to my time at Southern University, going through adversity with fans saying anything they want to say to you, cussing you out. I'm like, that's nothing to us because we're our team. We've been battle tested. I've said all the time, we have more competition in practice than we did in games because of how tight knit we were. We had fights on practice. We had a whole bunch of stuff. But one thing we always said was leave your feelings at the door. You fight on the field, but when you leave the field, we are homeboys. You know what I'm saying? So for us going into that regional, we've already been battle tested already. So that was our key stepping stone, I think, for HBCU, for Southern University, going into that game. We had a guy, Dewan Day, obviously, he was, I don't know what round he got drafted, but he was a draft pick, and he wanted to make it to the big league with the Chicago White Sox. He started that game. To this day, that was probably the best pitch game I've ever seen in my life. The guy was throwing 95-mile-an-hour bowling ball sinkers and on people's hands the whole game.
Yeah.
8 innings strong, whatever the case was. He was throwing bowling balls up there, 95, and it was unbelievable special. So going through that game, obviously we know I don't want to say that they might have been top 1 or 2 in the nation in an offense. So to shut them down, and then we go into the bottom of the 8th or something like that, or I'm sorry, the top of the 8th, tie ball game 3-3. The whole game, I think they kind of pissed around me, that would walk me and things like that. And then I'll never forget, I get up there. They changed the pitcher, and they changed to a left-hander. And I'll never forget. And then it was a meeting on the mound. And I'm like, man, what are they talking about? And first of all, to bring in a left-hander, he wasn't a hard thrower, but obviously, man, he has some good stuff. And I had a guy on first base. So I'm thinking, so they can't walk me, they can't pitch around me. It's damage time now. I got to do something. You know what I'm saying? It's 3-3. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the counter was, but he threw me a hanging changeup on the outer third of the plate, and I let it go. Home run, 2-run homer to put us up, and then they went and win the ball game, which was unheard of. You could hear a pin drop in the whole stadium. And again, I kid you not, the team leaves after the game. The team gets on the bus, like me and a couple other players and Coach Kettle. Man, we had to go do our interview, whatever, with the NCAA or whatever. And walking back, same. Nigga, you ain't overrated, nigga, you over, just saying a whole bunch over and over again. I'm like, man, y'all just don't get it, do you? You just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that was, I stuck my chest out that day, you know what I'm saying? I felt proud, you know what I'm saying? To play for Southern and the beat, I'm not gonna put that on the team, but that atmosphere, that crowd, man, that was probably one of the best feelings in the world playing baseball, hands down.
Yeah. No, you know what? You'll never get that experience when it comes from a black perspective.
Right.
You'll never get that experience on that magnitude at any other type of school. Only the HBCU.
Right.
Where you get it at that magnitude. Me being at a PWI like University of Miami, we had small things happen here and there. They did things towards the Cubans, small like that. Small things towards me, but on that magnitude, you don't get that unless you're at an HBCU. But I think that probably strengthened the team component. Like, we are Army out here. Like, now we got to link together, you know what I mean? And like you just said, Three's family, perseverance at its best,
right.
Right there. Because if you remember, I was there, Kaisha was there, Dad was there. We went out there, and we were in the stands, right? So Kaisha's hot. She ready to fight all up in it. You out there playing. We out here we doing damage control in the stands the whole time. You know what I mean? We saw the nigga signs up there and all the different things. Like, no disrespect to any of the viewers on there, but it's real facts of what happened that day and during that time frame. These are real events that Rikkie Weeks has gone through in his HBCU experience. So it was crazy. And this is also real talk, sports talk. So this is exactly what you're going to get, real talk.
And you know what, and to piggyback off that, I'm going to go a step further. So these are the moments that kind of shake people's, their outlook on life sometimes. I could have took that and said, you know what, I hate white people, or I hate people who do this. You can't hold everybody inside of one box. And you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, that put something inside me that probably not going to leave for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got stuff going up as a kid, being a black kid, that happens, that still don't leave, but something like that especially when you think you're doing something right, but there's still somebody still trying to bring you down. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's good. It's good for people as a whole to understand certain things happen just based off stupidity, no education, their upbringing, and what the case may be. But you can't hold that against everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take that lightly at all.
Absolutely. And I'm telling you, man, that was eye opening for me. You know what I mean? Being 16 or 17 at the time and seeing that before I even got to the college ranks, that was eye opening for me. And you can just imagine, we holding Kaisha to a certain. I do have a question, Rikkie, from my co-host James Davison. He dropped it in here, so I don't know if you see it there at the bottom. But the question is, how did life start to change when you became a top prospect? How did life change for you?
Honestly, the type of person I am, it was one of those things where it was, I mean, it really didn't change a whole lot. I think obviously, we're gonna, the elephant in the room, the money changes. There's more opportunities for certain things that you can do for your family or people around you. Those change, but I think the mindset, I mean, it don't change. If you play football and basketball, you go from college straight to the league. And baseball, I know that I'm not going straight from college straight to the big league. You know what I'm saying? That that was in my head. So I knew I had to keep that grind going and keep working. And especially when you want to be the best of the best. Even to get to the big league, you still don't want to be complacent enough to be like, you know what, I made it. Okay, now I can take my money and leave.
Right.
Nah, man, you gotta be greedy. And I ain't saying be greedy for the money, but you gotta be greedy for what you want.
Right.
For a long time, I got a bat over here. On my back, I had HOTW on it for a long time. And what that meant was growing up, man, to go to kids' house, baseball parties, stuff like that, their house was on the water, stuff like that. I want a house on the water. H, house, O, on, T, the, W, water. HOTW. I had that on my back. Hey, I got a house on the water now. You know what I'm saying? So those are things that, you instill in you, that you press forward. You can't be complacent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can always, wish things could have gone better or you could have done more, but the root of everything comes from something that you push forward to. You know what I'm saying? So that was me.
Yeah, most definitely. We got Mark Malley on here. He has a good question. It kind of flows into a question that I had as well. So basically, you had the draft, you got drafted, then you went to the regular minor league situation, got to the big leagues, did all those monumental things. Everything was historic. You broke so many records at the HBCU level. To me personally, like they need a documentary on this. They need to have it. That's just me personally, because if you look at the comments in here, nobody really knew. A lot of people don't know the stories that you just brought up. They're monumental. You're not going to be able to get them anywhere. So I know you're humble with it, but people want to know that, and that would be a dope thing to do. But once you got to the big leagues, man, your success continued to climb. So you reached a point where you were an all-star, right, in 2011, which was the year I actually broke into the big leagues. Huge year for our family.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Huge year for our family. I came up in June, and within a month and a half, you were an all-star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was hot at that time. You were hot at that time. It was huge. And I'll never forget, that not only did you go to the all-star game, you were in the home run derby at that time.
I thought you dad came down the field, boy, that was special for me. Because I think at the time, even before the All-Star game, you kind of rush and try to get all the tickets for everybody and things like that. I didn't know where you were going to be at because I wasn't sure. It was around that time to where is he going to get called up? Is he going to stay in the minor leagues? Because in the minor leagues, I think I was playing during the All-Star game time, but I still wanted you to come still. You know what I'm saying? So it was like kind of like you waiting. Okay, man, he's balling down there, man. Somebody, man, call him stand up. He's balling down there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, for real. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like, man, look, I want everybody there. I'm a family man. I want everybody who's been there with me through all the rigors and whatever. I want everybody there. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was a special moment. You have y'all on the field with me. You're doing home run derby, stuff like that. I mean, now maybe we can tell our kids now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Lifelong lasting experience. I'll never forget it. You know what I mean? To be on that field with I think Robinson Cano was in the home run derby. You had a number of guys out there, but to be on that field and to watch that and to be in the presence of that, I was just in awe, and I just was taking it all in. I remember I was in Arizona. In Arizona, I'll never forget, man, and I definitely am thankful for that opportunity. I thank God just for all the blessings that He's placed upon our lives to even be able to be in this position that we're in, that so many kids would love to be in, never got the opportunity, didn't take advantage of the opportunity, or, you know, things just happen in life. You don't get a chance to do it. But back to what Mark Malley was saying was that even though you were there, was there any pressure for you? Like, how was the pressure for the All-Star Home Run Derby?
Honestly, it wasn't, and honestly, if that's a good question. I don't think it was no pressure. It was no pressure for him because it was one of the things I went into it in a situation like, you know what? I've been watching this all my life on TV every year, the All-Star game, home run derby, and something like that. I'm just gonna let it. I'm just gonna swing for the fence. You know what I'm saying? I had no strategy. I saw him miss one time. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I was out there to take it all in just to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like, it was the small stuff. Like I literally didn't care. The small stuff. I didn't have it. I had nobody. You know, and they told me to beat me for home run derby. I mean, I used Prince, you know, our old hitting coach in the minor league. He was there for Prince already, so I was like, sure, I'm gonna use him too. I ain't look again. I didn't care about nothing. All I knew was I'm going to All-Star game, and that's it. I don't care what happens. I'm going to take it all in. I'm going to soak it in, and I'm just going to have fun. You know, that's my whole thing, man. Whole mindset.
I believe that's one of those things that came to you. I don't think it was something that you put it on your list to do it. So I think you were just trying to be the best ball player probably that you could be at the big league level, and it turned out that way. You know what I mean? That's just blessings, man. I got to do a shout out, you know, for some of our guys back home. You know, Josh Ferguson's in here, Altamont. Shout out Josh Ferguson. There you go. Jamon Taylor's in here as well. Came up in one of our youth foundations, playing professional ball right now.
What up, boy?
I see you, Harold Poole. What's going on? Grew up right around the corner from us. And Legit Live is in here. What's up? He said the GOAT. He's in here. What's happening, bro? Isaac Nunez is in here. Lake Brantley product. You know what I mean? The next one up. You know, and so let's get to the next one. So we got the Threech family out of the Bay Area. Let's see what he said. He said the perception in Cali, for the most part, is HBCU do not get the same exposure as Pac-12 schools. He says, I wish this message can go further than IG Live. Please come to Cali and speak on this. Well, look, Mr. Threech, set it up. Set it up, man. If they can make it happen, I'm sure we can make a move, man. I think now we got a little bit more time. A little bit more opportunity to use our vocal now, which is why we're doing that.
Man, I want to say something to that.
Yeah.
I think when parents and players in high school, whatever, if you're looking at exposure somewhere, I think that's the wrong mindset. I think the key is if I want to get better or go somewhere to get exposure, just go somewhere to play right away. Period. If you do your job and go somewhere to play right away, somebody will find you. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think people understand. When I got to minor league baseball, I'm looking around, I'm thinking I'm going to see Miami, Florida State, Florida players everywhere. They're not all there. Jamal, man, I see, you know.
Yeah.
It's guys from JUCO, it's guys from high school who just grinding.
Right.
Same talent as you, but the equalizer is they're more hungrier than some of those guys who had all the nice lockers and had all the nice stuff. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it don't matter about exposure. Go play somewhere right away and work hard. Period. There's no cutting corners. Yeah.
Get your foot in the door.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your foot in the door and play it out. And that makes sense coming from your standpoint too, and our standpoint in general. But even from the HBCU standpoint, it makes a lot of sense that you say that because it came from Southern. You know what I mean? And you were able to be a number 2 pick. That should light up everything. All the heart should be flying on that because that's just letting you know that from an HBCU, from that place, you can have that same success because you're looking at it on the screen right now. So don't think it's far-fetched or You got to go to the big PWI. You got to go to the places, even like I said, I'm a product of a PWI. But you don't have to go there to find your success.
And you know what? No knock on PWIs at all. Zero knock.
Right.
If you can play, period. It doesn't matter. Now, if you want to go a step further, talking to scouts and personnel and things like that, there's certain things that they go based off of. A lot of scouts, they don't like college hitters because the upside is not there. You see what I'm saying? A lot of scouts don't like pitchers who go to these PWIs who get worn out because of the strain they have on their arm. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it doesn't matter where you go. Just go work hard and where you at. Work and play right away. That's the key. Baseball, I'm sure our guys, but it's very hard to take, come in as a walk-on or come in and be a back of your freshman year and then go on to be a high draft pick and to succeed. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, it ain't never been done or people can't do it. I'm not saying that, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's a rare thing to be that high of a pick.
If I got an option to go here or here, and I got to sit the bench over here, but I'm gonna be the man my sophomore year, or I can go here, and I'm the man right away at shortstop, second, left field, center field, something like that. I'm choosing this right away all the time, all day long, because I know I'm gonna play, I'm gonna develop, and my age don't mean nothing.
Right.
And the reason why I say my age don't mean nothing because if I sit the bench, let's say you go 3 years, you're gonna be 20, 21, let's say 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be 21 years old or 3 years in college. You know what I'm saying? That means, let's say you took the time off your freshman year to sit the bench. Now you only have 2 years of good baseball under your belt, and you're 21 years old. This guy's you got Soto with the Nationals. He's 19 years old, balling the big league. You got guys who've been balling in minor league ball and pro ball for a long time. At 21, it's late.
It's already
late. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So for me, look, go play right away.
Right, exactly. And I think that draws into what he was already saying. We'll ask that question to Dog Baseball right now. We'll ask that question that you have up here. I think he's kind of already touching on it, but first let me give a quick shout out. Your boy Emory is in here. Ain't that an SU product?
Who that?
Emory.
Oh yeah, my boy, yeah.
Yeah, Emory's up in here. You got him, of course. You see Moyo in there and everybody. But we got Frank Scott in here from the O. What's going on, Frank?
Okay.
And then, Dog Baseball was asking what benefits would you tell young players about going to an HBCU? What would be the benefits?
Being you. I mean, I think,
that's huge.
Man, Coach Carrick said last week. I think I really believe in that. No matter who you are, I don't care who you are, but there's things that we don't try to coddle nobody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if that makes sense. It's more in your face. It's more, okay, again, we're going to smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire. If I tell you something, I'm not going to back it down to it. I go to practice. The senior right here, it's either fight or do what's been told and do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things. It was like, okay, I'm going to get told the right thing. There's no, it's the HBCU. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants everybody to do well. There's no, to me, I'm in my experience. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's the fact that I'm going somewhere where everybody truly has their best interests in mind for that place. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for anywhere else. I'm just talking about, my time at Southern. But going to HBCU is just another opportunity people keep passing over when they don't need to pass it over, period.
Right, absolutely. We got another question that just came in. Shout out Ronnie Richardson, one of our guys from Central Florida as well.
Ron.
In pro ball right now, coaching as well. And we really got to get to correct Emory, no sugarcoat. Absolutely. But now let's go ahead and get to, I shout out Tia Hendricks, actress from the U. What's up? Royo, what's good, Junior? Shout out him. All of our pro guys are in here, man. So we definitely showing love to all of them. We got a question from AJ Furman again. it says outside of personal goals.
Mm-hmm.
Time, shout out Carlos Villanueva, my brother's teammate, longtime teammate.
Acate.
Via. Outside of personal goals, was it a goal of yours to play with each other on the same team in the MLB?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. First of all, it was a dream to play against each other, which we had that one
spring training.
Yeah, spring training game we had. Yeah, I got picked off and my brother tagged me out, whatever.
I got him out, y'all. You know that's what I do.
But doing that, but also too, you always want to play with your brother. I don't care who you are. If you have any kind of good upbringing or good atmosphere or good, I guess, camaraderie with your brother or family, you always want to play with them. And growing up, we always want to do that. We almost had a chance, possibly towards the end of my career, maybe. But at the same time, that was always definitely a goal for me to play with my brother's mom.
Same here. And I think people don't know sometimes with my personal story that at a high school, I was a draft pick. Mm-hmm. And they don't even know that you're already in the big leagues with the Brewers. I was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yep.
They offered me, I turned down the most money in University of Miami history to go to that school at that time. I don't know if that's changed since then, but at that time, nobody turned down $875,000.
A lot. It was hard for me to say, man, to go to college. I ain't gonna lie.
Look, I was looking for somebody to tell me what to do. I was like, hey, tell me what to do. I didn't know what to do, boy. But like I said, we were rooted in prayer in our growth to our parents, rooted in prayer. And, I went after some of the things. Actually, I went after some of the things I saw my brother go do. So if you don't know, I know that when you went, not only were you a second-round draft pick and all these different accolades, but while you were there, you were an All-American, which was huge to me. Right. When you went and played in Italy, I know you got in a fight out there and all that different stuff, but you out there, you were in Italy, you know what I mean? Y'all traveled the world. And then there was one thing you didn't do that I was like, but I could do that at University of Miami. That was go to the College World Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So that was my opportunity really to do it. But I did have a chance, even though I want to say I did all of those things in college in support in the same fashion as my brother. But I did have a chance to get drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers, and they threw the bag at me. But I had to turn it down. I had to turn it down. It was the right decision for me to turn that down and go to school. Great question. Another good question right now from Fernando Cortez Baseball. What's going on, Nando?
I think I remember him.
Yeah. He got a really good question here. He said, what is Rikkie up to these days? Mr. Retiree, what you up to?
Man, right now I got kids. Kids in a while. I got 2 kids, Animal 1 and Animal 2. They're 3-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy. They're a handful right now, especially going through all this COVID-19 stuff. Another thing too. Shout out to everybody, man, that dealing with COVID-19. Everybody on the front lines, something like that. I appreciate y'all. Everybody stay safe, wash your hands, do all that.
First responders,
do all that. First responders, all that. But yeah, kids here at home, and dealing with them. I got my beautiful wife Tiffany. She's also Southernite as well, so I want to point that out. But yeah, it's just doing that. I'm going back to school right now, finishing up in sports management at Florida National the university online. Doing that. Also, I have our foundation, the Weeks Brothers Foundation, and right now, really, I think I may tap into the to a team somewhere down the line and to get some coaching in.
Yeah. So that's what he's up to, guys. School, family, coaching, and the foundation where we get hundreds of kids every winter right now. We're looking at expand the reach and expand the impact even with that. So we've been doing that for the last 8 or 9 years. This isn't something we started because we're not playing. We've been doing this. Elise, Flash, okay? If you are 21 years old and didn't have the option of going to a school like HBCU or any other school, what should be the following steps that an individual should go through? What's your point there? What are you saying to go through to get drafted, to get to college? I'm not sure if your question is clear enough for him to answer, Alice. So we're gonna go to the next one until you jump back in. I see Hans Malone, your boy. Moyo, another SU product, big time SU product. You know, he went to a PWI and transferred in, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Moyo said was going to the playoffs. Oh, that was another awesome time in your career right there. Was going to the playoffs, an exciting moment, and how far did y'all get in the playoffs?
So our first time in the playoffs was 2008. It was the first time in Milwaukee history since I want to say 30 some years. The first time we did the playoffs, they went to the World Series in 1982, I believe, and we didn't get to the playoffs again until 2008, and I was part of that team. It was very special to me, but also very special to the city of Milwaukee. And I don't think people understand the people of Milwaukee and the fans there. They love baseball and they love sports. And I couldn't have picked. Well, I didn't pick to go there, but I couldn't have found a better spot to start my career off. There. So, man, hats off to all the fans in Milwaukee. Because, that was a very special time in my life right there. But 2008, that was the first time going to playoffs. It was special because, I don't care who you are, when you get to the big leagues and football, basketball, wherever, or baseball, my talk, your goal is to be the best you can be. And then besides that is to win. And when you win, you get a chance to go to the playoffs and go for there. To me, 2008, it was a key moment only because it was a transition to, okay, we got all this homegrown talent, but now we're starting to, pick up some steam, and to get better. So to me, 2008 was it was a very special moment for us. And then also going back, fast forward to 2011, that same team we kind of took in. We went to 2011. We made it to the Final Four, I guess you can say, the National League Series, and we lost out to a team who personally, I feel like we were overconfident because we beat them bad throughout the season, but we get there, we just goes out again.
Was that St. Louis when you did that?
Yeah, St. Louis. Yep.
I was at that series too. John Jay was out there.
Yeah, John Jay was there. Yep, sure was.
Yeah, I remember that. We were up in the stands with his family during that.
Yeah,
that was man, bro. The energy in the stadium.
Bro,
cannot.
People don't understand Milwaukee. People don't understand Milwaukee. I'm gonna be real right now. When I got drafted by Milwaukee, I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know who played there. I didn't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? So for me going into, I had a whiteboard of just blank. You know what I'm saying? So I went to a situation where I didn't know nothing about it. So going in there, it was like, and then seeing somebody mentioned me one time when I was in minor league. Man, the fans there are crazy. I'm like, man, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Like, yeah, man. They're like, yeah, man. The team is always in the top 10 in attendance. They just lost 100 games last year. Yeah, but it's still top 10 in attendance. I'm like, and then go back and look, but them people, the fans show up there. They show up. They still coming. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's off again, man. I'm telling you, Boston, it's just certain teams, man. It's just the fan base is unreal,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. On top of that, so I got Garvin Austin. Garvin Austin was a pitcher.
Oh, he was my bullpen coach in Arizona.
Oh, well, I had him in Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a question for you. He said, can Rikkie speak on how any coaches of color he has had in professional baseball? Garvin, now you got to add that question a little bit clearer with that. But that's our guy right there. I guess speak on some of your coaches of color there. I know you had, I know in Milwaukee you had Willie Randolph as one of your coaches.
Yeah, he was there. He was probably one of the key influences of me getting better at and defensively. I don't think people understand that when I got to pro ball, I've only played second base for 1 year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when I got to, I'm sorry, 2 years. I'm a 2 years.
Since high school.
Yeah, since high school, right? So it was weird because growing up, everybody used to always call me sweetness. You know what I'm saying? I was always defensive. It was easy. Everything was easy. Like actions, everything came easy to me. So then taking that 10-year gap of playing infield and playing straight outfield all the time, it was like, man, what is going on? Right? Actually, when it didn't feel, ain't nothing feel right. I was on shortstops, now going second base. It's even more of a I guess a challenge because now your body's turned. I'm always going towards first base, and now I'm playing second base. I've only been playing there 2 years now. Everybody in pro ball, everybody's been good at where they play, but they've been playing there their whole life.
Right.
I've been playing there 2 years now, so I'm getting there. I'm making crazy errors, man. I ain't ashamed to say I made 20 errors. I made 20 errors in like 3 months. I don't know
I know
how.
what you
I don't
mean.
know what it was, but it was one of the things. It was like,
you mean.
yeah, it was one of the things like nothing felt right. You know what I'm saying? So for him to come in and to obviously, anybody know about Willie Randolph? He's a World Series champion. He played second base, Gold Glove, all that stuff like that. He's been there, done that before, basically. So for him to come in there and to kind of, for me, I was a very explosive, quick twitch person. He was the first one to tell me to slow down. I'm like, slow down, bro. Man, I got to go hit this fastball. I got to go run and make this play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was the first one to tell me, no, go slower than slow.
Right.
And that resonated with me. And then I'm like, he was rolling baseball. He said, just creep and get the ball. And normally, man, my first step was coming from the outfield. It was boom, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, that was the first one telling me, look, just slow down. You're already fast already. You're fast. Just slow down. And he started working with me. So he was the first one to really like caught my attention and being African American. He was like somebody who I kind of looked up to, especially defensively, to help me out that way as well.
Right. Rick, we got about 3 to 4 more minutes before we get off here now. We're getting towards the end. So I just want to give you about 1 or 2 more questions. Y'all better start dropping them right now. We got Rikkie Weeks right here. Again, highest career batting average in NCAA history at 465. Highest career NCAA slugging percentage at 927. He won 5 different Player of the Year awards in 2003. I'm talking about Baseball America College Player of the Year, Dick Hauser Trophy, Golden Spikes Award, Rotary Smith Award. He was Southwestern Athletic Conference Most Outstanding Hitter in 03, SWAC Conference Player of the Year in 03, number 2 pick overall in 03, National League starting second baseman in 2011, All-Star Game, Home Run Derby, everything. We can't keep going over it. Everything, And let's get one more question in, and we got to let him go, y'all. We'll have him back on for our Saturday day game that we do, but we could talk more about his career. This is the midweek night game. This is his opportunity to speak on his HBCU live series. We're promoting HBCU sports and the culture of HBCUs. And Rickie's given us a great job. Last week we had Kerrick Jackson, the head coach at Southern University, and this is a great kickoff. Y'all are asking great questions. So let's get to 1 or 2 more questions before we have to let you go, Rick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jose Emilio, we haven't caught him yet. He says, question for both. What was your most memorable moment in the league? Did you already hit that question?
I think I did, yeah. Early on, yeah, we were getting called up. I mean, I think everybody's kind of the staple foundation, but I mean, it's some other moments in there, but I think that just made it all real. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of the things like, this is really happening. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Captain 1991, what's going on? Let's see here. Before we jump off of here. All right, we got one right here. If you are an undrafted player and didn't go to a D1, hey, Ali's Flash, you got to get your questions all in one second, brother. I gotta scroll through the whole live to catch what you're trying to say. It's a pretty tough thing to do. James Davison, Windy City _Revolution TV, my co-host, he did mention something. Only player in the HBCU history to win the Golden Spikes. Did you know that, Rikkie?
Yeah, I did know that. Actually, I did. It was one. You know what? There's things. I'm sure you know me. I'm not very boisterous about things that I've done or things like that. But that was one of the things that I kept inside for a long time. Like after my freshman year, going up and playing with Team USA, I was one of the things like, hold on, I'm going to, and Team USA, I'm man, so it's tryouts. you're not just selected straight onto the team. You know, you go to Arizona at the time. I think you was in Carolina, I think somewhere. But going out to Arizona, it's trials, so it's like it's 2 sets of teams, and they're gonna pick from those 2 sets of teams that you chose. They're gonna pick their Team USA collegiate baseball team. So I go out there, and obviously, you know, you get, you know, the cream of the crop. You get the guys from the Texas, from USC, Stanford, Florida, Miami, all these top schools, who's well known, who's been recruited since they was a freshman in high school. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going out there, you know, me from Southern University, and I mean, so in hindsight, I could probably say it now, but I wasn't ashamed, but it was like they were probably gonna look at me like, man, why is he gonna be here? And why is he here? You know what I'm saying? Right. So for me, I had that in the back of my head. Now remember, I'm keeping this on my shoulder. I already know this going in. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I'm going in there, and you know they're announcing people's names, so and so Florida, so and so Stanford, whatever. Man, the Rikkie Weeks University, and you kind of see everybody kind of like, man, who is that? You know what I'm saying? And then I go out there, we're playing, you know, we're doing a 60-yard dash. We're doing throws from the outfield, throws from the infield, things like that. And I'm looking around like, man, I can play with these boys. You know, that confidence started to set in then. Right. That confidence, when that confidence kick in, that confidence does a whole world for people, man. So that confidence set in, like, and then I go up to plate, I'm facing the supposable, you know, man, the first round pick for next year's draft, and they get a base hit. I get on. I steal second base. Somebody gets a base hit, I score. I'm flashing, I'm doing all the tools, you know what I'm saying? Somebody hit a pop up over the first person's head, almost second base. I score from second base, you know what I'm saying? I'm playing my game. That's how I play, you know what I'm saying? Instinct and play it hard. So for me, I'm looking around like, okay, I can do this, you know what I'm saying? So for me, getting that confidence jump started pretty much, you know, my career, you know, I believe after my freshman year going to college.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man. You always had this chip that you always had to bounce on, and you always had to get up off you. And it's crazy that you would show success, and here you go to the USA team, another chip got to be on your shoulder to get to the next level. Then you might go back to school. Now you done made the USA team, did whatever you had to do, hit 495. One of your
you got to produce though.
Right, but then you come back, and then it's like, well, he can't do it against LSU, and now you got another chip that you got to beat. It's like you kept having barriers that kept being placed in front of you, and you kept knocking them down. Right. That's resiliency. Last question, we got Archie Gilbert here. He said, did you guys give each other tips when playing pro ball, or did you guys just let each other play?
I'll say this to that, Jemile. I remember when you got to the big leagues, and it would be like a picture I face. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. We probably talk, let's say, for 3 times a week or something like that. But, you know, I know who you playing on. I'm sure you know who I play. I'd be like, hey, man, so-and-so pitcher, man, look up for the sinker, look up for the slider or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you can take it from there, but that's the type of talk that we had about, like, you know, to help out. You know,
and y'all have to realize when we were growing up, man, like, me and him, we challenged each other. It was a brotherly love thing, but we challenged, like that thing y'all saw us doing on Instagram yesterday. We was really doing that, but we wasn't playing around. We were trying to strike each other out. We were hitting each other, hitting the head, like hitting the windows, getting in trouble, and don't do that no more. And then we'll let a couple of days go by. We back out there going from like 30 feet away, you know, throwing as hard as we can and striking each other out, throwing sliders and everything. Like, I legit had to stand because of the way that he was helping me in a sense, because he is 4.5 years older than me. Yeah. So he literally had me playing like 4 levels up from where I was at. It made me much stronger as a ball player. It made me much stronger as a person, as a man as well. Listen, like my sister just said, you know, she's blessed, very proud of Rikkie. She said you set the perfect example. She loves you. You know, all of that comes with the family component that we have. You know, we'll get one more from Frank Scott right here. What were the dynamics of the roster when you were at Southern? As far as minority players to white players, how do you feel about HBCUs that don't recruit black players?
Well, to me, there's a stigma about that, and I think going back to our roster. Coming up, let's say we had I'm just gonna throw a number out there, 25 guys. We probably had three white guys on the team, maybe. So that was like the balance we had. There's not a problem with a coach recruiting white players. The problem I have is when there's a coach who understands the dynamic of the school or the dynamic of where he's at. I think it's a scapegoat, man. And sometimes when you have to go out and have to, I guess, what's the politically correct thing to say? I guess.
They don't need to overstep.
Yeah, well, I mean, man, and to be point blank, is when you have the HBCU and you know the heritage behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's fine to have white guys on the team. You know what I'm saying? But when you only recruit and you leave off guys who want to be there, that's the problem that I have. That's all.
Right. Absolutely. Rikkie, we're not gonna ask no more questions. I want to say that my dad said, I'm not sure what that first word is, but it says, had great kids that I loved more because they listened. So shout out to our dad. Much love there. Rikkie, I appreciate it, man. This was the HBCU Live series. Look, we got to have you on for the Saturday day game at one of these times so the people can really get to your career and talk about your childhood and your baseball upbringing and everything like that. But I appreciate you, bro. Much love, man. I just want you to know that we've done a lot in our time, thanks to our parents, thanks to God. And within that, there's history amongst our name. And that history has an opportunity to have a voice, and it has an opportunity to be spread. And not only are we big here in Central Florida, but it's a national, it's a global, worldwide thing. And we have to move as such. All right?
Yes, sir. All right, bro. Y'all boys having me on, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. Thank everybody. Marcus Lemon just walked in the building. You late, bro, but we just mentioned your dad. But mad respect for you too, bro. Mad respect for you and your whole family. That's the son of Chet Lemon. If you see Living Lemon lean inside of the comments, that's Chet Lemon's son, man. I played with him coming up. My brother played with him coming up.
That's a great name. That's a great name in Florida right there.
Great family, most definitely. Shout out to the Juice. All right, Rick, go handle the family, bro. Tell Tiffany we said what's up. All y'all Southern University peoples. We good. All right, JD, let's get it in. All right, Rick, appreciate you, man. Later. JD. Awesome, man. That's awesome right there, man. My brother, he's been handling business for a long time on that field. We both had the opportunity to really get after it, man. What's up, bro? What's up?
What up, bro? What up?
Hey, that was one of our longer ones, bro. But I had to give Big Bro the time. The people were chimed in. They were all like locked in and had a lot of questions. I apologize on the time, but hey, it was a dope interview, bro.
Hey, bro. Hey, ain't no time limit on greatness. You feel me? When you got to engage in conversations like that, when you got somebody of that quality, to come and take his time out to give that knowledge back on his experiences, brother or not, it's still hard to get that type of caliber person on here, and we just gotta appreciate everything that we get, So dope family, man. That's a great role model for you to look up to, and me as well, as I slowly but surely, be involved with the family more. I look up. I'm 24, and I get guys like y'all to look up to. So just like everybody else, like I'm listening, I'm tuning in, I'm taking notes, and this gonna put HBCUs on the map, man.
Most definitely. Midweek night game, y'all. This is what we're doing right now. It's the HBCU Live series. Me and James will have some updates for you all throughout the week. We come with the fire every time. We come with the real talk all day, and this is what we're going to give you. It's always going to be a solid presentation. We're always going to pull out the best facts, the most interesting things, the most current events, and we're going to be here to develop people, develop players, and just kind of give y'all the insight on whatever it is that the people want. And that's why we stay inside the comments and answer questions and ask questions as well. So Hey, bro. I know we got a lot for the people. We'll get back to them either after this or throughout the week, so they understand how we're moving with Saturday day game and how we're moving with midweek night game going forward. But this HBCU Live series is just kicking off, y'all. This is
lit.
Start.
It is lit.
All right, all right, y'all.
All right.
Much love, man. Jemile Weeks, James Davison, the co-host, and we'll be back. See y'all soon.
We out.